Hope everyone's had a great Tuesday. We are going to be reading Higurashi, if that's not clear, by the video's title, the stream title, the general schedule, the day of the week, all those reasons. It was fun watching it. Yeah, I know. And I'll say it again. It still doesn't make sense. Because that song, the two songs that got claimed, happened throughout the whole game. So I'm gonna load up here, but I'm also gonna make a statement here before we load up, because we're at the end of chapter 1. The don't call me a tea party section for Higurashi. And then we'll do an awkward cut on the actual VOD. And then I'll do 2. We'll start 2. Assuming the tea party thing is like half an hour or so. But before that, I just want to reiterate something that I said at the very beginning. And I say it for all my streams, but seems like Higurashi itself is maybe a bit more susceptible to. Definitely not calling out any actions or people out directly. But maybe if you feel like you're getting called out, maybe that's a sign. But just be mindful of both, again, in the VOD YouTube comments and also then the live chat on Twitch. Be mindful of outright spoilers or alluding to spoilers. If you're like ever like, oh, I don't know, I'm trying to come up with an example. If you're like, oh shit, something big's about to happen, when it's like, maybe, especially, I mean, this is trying to like judgment call, right? But if it's not very clear that something's about to happen or something, alluding to something that's about to happen, I put that under the umbrella of spoiler territory. So, in a roundabout way, this is me just reiterating that I would appreciate it. And I know there are others who are watching this for the first time. Again, either live or VODs, that don't want to see potential spoilers or lead up to spoilers as we go through this. We're still early on, so again, I thought it would just be wise to reiterate that. Again, I will be so quick to remove comments on YouTube if I need to, and also I will start getting quick to do other things if I need to on like Twitch or whatever. Just saying, just putting it out there. Remember, I'm pretty sure I'll say it and then I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure to type into the Twitch chat, you have to agree that you're not going to be doing any kind of spoilers or allusions to spoilers of any kind, real or fake, necessarily, really, unless obviously it's like real fake. I don't want to have to get strict about it, but I if I have to, I will. That's what I want to say. I want the smart judgments to be made by everyone involved. And I really don't want to be spoiled. You know what? I always say for the other people too, but like me personally, my enjoyment from this series is going to be lessened if I have to deal with shit. So, don't make me deal with shit. That's all I have to say. Again, not calling any action or people out directly. This is, to be 100% honest, stuff I've seen in both, the YouTube thing was already taken care of. But, yeah, just, can you tell how awkward I am about the whole thing? I'm awkward about it because I'm of the mindset that it's not hard not to be obnoxious about spoiler stuff. But maybe I'm wrong in thinking that. And maybe I do need to be more... Maybe I need to be more obnoxious about it, you know? But anyway, I digress. I don't mean to be all hall monitory, substitute teachery. I don't know, annoying about it. Because that's the other thing. I don't want to be annoying about it. That's no fun. You would rather me just read Higurashi and then do my shitty recaps. Not have to be like, oh, please, please, sir, don't spoil. Please, sir or madam, don't spoil me. Although I'm pretty sure, like, I'm just barely alluding to it, but I'm pretty sure, like, the YouTube thing was an intentional, malicious act. So, this plea is not gonna reach those types of people. Just know that if you spoil stuff, I will cry. I will cry myself to sleep. That night. And probably a few nights after. And do you want me crying to sleep? No. I'll answer for you. No. It's not too bad. Again, the offending incident was not bad. And again, I'm also saying in Twitch chat and everything, and honestly, to the point where it was such an obvious of what was happening that I didn't even, like, read it all. So, everything's great. Everything's great. Higurashi time. So, we ended the official reading of chapter 1, right? And then we are told, hey, remember the tea parties in Umineko? I think there's stuff like that. So we're going to do that. All cast review session. I'm a little afraid. Do we have any questions or any comments we want to make before we click into this? Any questions from any questions, any comments? Have fun. Thank you. I try every time I log on. No matter what I'm doing or playing. I always say, if I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't be doing this. I would not be hitting the go live button. Last time ended somewhat abruptly. Yeah. So, Keshi, finally met his doom. There was a really weird, I was kind of recapping on my own. He had, he apparently died, though, you know, potentially unreliable. We don't see the exact moment he goes down. There's the phone call situation, and then we get the, like, short little, like, fade to black kind of thing, I think it was, and then we have the report done. I can't, if you wanted, like, any kind of, like, theory. See, the thing is, I don't know if this can be theoried out like Umineko, right? But I will say, I'm pretty hard-pressed not just the direction I want to think that's going, or that's happening, is that a majority, if not all, if not a massive majority of the weird things are in his head. Is psychosemantic the word I'm looking for? I think Kechi, our main guy here, is apparently, like, very susceptible to paranoia. He moved. You got the moving thing. And I think, I'm not saying the rest of the friends are completely maybe at, like, free of fault, but I think that, like, the horrible things that we're seeing as readers, in my head, I want to say that it's, like, made dramatic by him. Tons of people outside his house, adult men attacking him out of nowhere. But the thing is, we're seeing the story through his eyes, right? And what if he's, like, the ultimate unreliable narrator? That's what I'm banking on. I'm squarely banking on this, like, everything being blown out, and he's just, like, to the point where he is seeing it and events in front of his eyes incorrectly, or he's like imagining things. Like he is like it's not even happening and he's making it up in his head, or the things that are happening he's wildly twisting. That's kind of where I'm at. And then you have moments where like, like Rena is trying to shove her way into his house because she, as a person, is genuinely afraid for her friend that she's known, right? Now, obviously, you could be like, well, don't blame her. She's just trying to check up. Like I said, if she was just trying to like check up on him and she's seeing that he's acting out and acting weird recently, and she's like, I have to be persistent and help him, and he is having like these manic episodes or something, right? That's what I have to. That's where my head is at right now in finishing episode 1 or chapter 1. Onikakushi. Also, another thing I've been thinking about from now since last stream is, and maybe we'll learn tonight. I'm very curious what the subsequent episodes are, because in Umineko, obviously, they were the different games, right? The different setups, the different situations. But it was essentially, for the most part, excuse me, like a repeat telling of a certain chain of events, right? The same couple of days or whatever. The same couple of days, right? I'm curious if this does the same thing or if we go completely differently. I'm absolutely sure Oishi didn't help his state of mind. That's the other thing I want to say. If I had to, if it's not just all within his head, and let's say there is, just like in Umineko, there is technically like someone you could trace back to and say they're the actual person who's the lead domino in pushing over all the dominoes. I want to say my firm bet right now is on Oishi. I think there's something sketchy about him. We saw the setup about him. I don't think the game would tell us this whole setup about him, this being his last investigation, his retirement thing. There's something sketchy about him. I said it from the get-go. I think if you're like this old grizzled investigator guy, I think it's weird to bring in Kechi like he did. That seems weird to me. I still am not throwing out the fact that maybe Oishi and the girls are in on it somehow. I don't want to throw that that out of the possibility matrix. Just making up words and terms. But yeah, Oishi is super sketch. Also, then if I had to put a second target, let's throw him as a pair. What's his face? Photography guy. And blonde haired lady. They're kind of sketchy, and I know he's dead. He technically died. But I'm going to say this. Even if he's dead and died at some point, I don't want to say that he's free from some kind of shit happening at his hands. Yeah, I know. We got her name a couple times. I forgot it. There's no way I'm going to remember it. Tomatake, yeah. Now, forgetting his name, I feel bad about. But yeah. The pair of them, I kind of want to lump together and say they seem sketchy as hell too. Especially the fact that she just disappeared after he died, apparently. I find it hard to believe that someone just getting, like, in her case, like, spirited or demoned away, right? So she seems sketchy as hell. She also seemed to, like, a little too into talking to Kechi about, like, the, I was reviewing some of my old footage, talking about the mythology, kind of like, of the previous festival deaths or whatever. She was too into it, so. But that's what I'm saying. His mind was just getting poisoned by too many people. And then I think my ultimate guess is that we're seeing unreliable narrative, like what happens when literally a kid's brain snaps and he sees everyone with ill intent, even his friends that has like these, relationships with. He clearly likes Rena more than even like just a friend a bit, right? At least at the start. And I think my guess would be This is what happens when when a kid's brain snaps, when it gets like filled with paranoia and, you know, outside influences in something like that. Would be my end of chapter 1 analysis of the situation. All cast review session.
はい、日暮らしの泣く頃に水、鬼隠しをプレイされた皆さん、お疲れ様でした。
Oh shit, we're definitely getting meta. Okay, so thank you for buying Higurashi When They Cry, Onikakushi, a visual novel by 7th expansion.
いかがだったでしょうか。
How was it?
ちょっぴりでも楽しんでもらえたらとっても嬉しいです。
If you enjoyed it, even a little bit, it would make me happy. Was Umineko's first tea party like this as well? Do I not remember the first tea party and how it was set up? It didn't go straight into, like... Wow, dude, that's how, like... Episode 1... I mean, tea party of the first, you know, episode or chapter of Umineko... Oh, wow, I don't even remember that. I remember, like, other tea parties, but I remember them just being, like, right into more narrative expansion. Crazy. Alright, I'll do that just because you asked nicely. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, it's all good. I could have just even checked my own playthrough and saw that it was like this. But yeah, I didn't even remember Umineko was like that. So that's funny. That's very funny. Clearly, that lets you know how bad my memory is. Must not have impacted me that much. So thank you for buying Higurashi. If you enjoyed it even a little bit, it would make me happy. Yes, I've been enjoying it, Rena. Thank you for asking. Do I get to fill in a survey? Even a little bit of stretching it. An incredibly dark ending made me angry, you know? So I'm adjusting audio here real quick. Okay. Made us angry.
今回の鬼隠しは全体の謎に挑む人たちが最初に通るお話。
This Onikakushi chapter is the first story that readers challenge the mystery of the entire series challenging the mystery of the entire series get to experience.
だから実質上のプロローグの位置づけなんだって。
So it's actually supposed to be somewhat of a prologue. Also, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I can't read your name because it's so blue against the black background. Sakataro Hojo? That name sounds familiar.
そのプロローグがこんな凄まじいバッドエンドでございますの?
So, how could the prologue have such an incredibly dark ending?
でもそういうのってあるじゃん?
Maybe I want this all to be inside of Ketchi's mind, just because I like Mion so much, and I can't believe that she actually has evil intent. She's too good of a character for me. Yeah, but that doesn't happen sometimes. But doesn't that happen sometimes?
この最悪のバッドエンドを回避するためにプレイヤーさんが物語を模索していくのがこの作品の醍醐味だし。
The player digging through the story in order to avoid a bad ending is the point of these types of games, after all.
まだ始まったばかりですよ。僕は次のお話が楽しみなのです。
It's still just the first chapter. I'm looking forward to the next one.
これからどんな話が待ち受けてるんだろ
う。What happens in the next chapter?
レナは聞いてる?
Rena, do you know? Oh, I thought she was gonna keep talking. Yeah. They said the next chapter will introduce another aspect of the story.
他のシナリオにはどんな展開があるんですの？
That's a strange way of putting it. What does that mean?
今回の鬼隠しではひなみ沢で近年起こった連続開始事件が紹介されたでしょ。
I do kind of enjoy like getting like a little sneak peek. They're like, oh, what's gonna happen in this next one? In this chapter, they introduced a string of mysterious deaths that were happening in Hinamizawa recently, right?
例えばみーちゃんのシナリオではひなみ沢の古い歴史なんかが紹介されるんだって。
The next chapter will introduce some of the history of Hinamizawa.
異常事態の連続ですっかりわかんなくなっちゃったけど、お社様のたたりってどういうものなのか。
With one strange event happening after another, I got totally lost. What exactly is Oyashiro-sama's curse about?
いや、そもそもお社様って何なのかあまり説明なかったからね。
Actually, what is Oyashiro-sama to begin with? They didn't explain it much.
よくは聞いてないんだけど。
I haven't heard much about it.
でもなんか嫌な予感。
But I have kind of a bad feeling about it.
またしてもたたられそうな嫌な物語です。
It feels like it'll be another one of those scary stories where somebody gets cursed again.
ケイちゃんも大変だね。
Tough luck for Ki-chan.
今度はどんなたたりにやられるやら。
What kind of curse is he going to get hit with this time?
でもどんなお話になるのか楽しみでございますわね。
However, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of story it's going to be. Oh, the big bad. Prime suspect number one in my eyes. If it's not just Ketchi's mind. Sorry for being late. My bad, my bad. Talk about prime suspect. So prime suspect number 2. Half of number 2. Hey everybody. Good work today.
お疲れ。
Same to you.
あれ、ケイちゃんは？
Huh? Where's Ki-chan?
ケイチ君はもう次のシナリオの台本読みに行っちゃってるんだよ。
No, it's like they're actually like actors. That's really good. Ketchi-kun is already off reading the script for the next chapter.
主人公だから大変だね。
Must be hard being the main character.
あれ
Huh?
残念ですね。
That's too bad.
ちょっとだけでも顔を出してくれればよかったのに。
He could have at least poked in to say hello.
きっと喋るワード数が多すぎて居残りなのです。
It's probably because he doesn't have any character art, so he couldn't poke his head in even if he wanted to.
前原さんのセリフだけで普通のアドベンチャーゲームなら全員分の量がありますからね。
Rika-san, that's what we prefer to refer to as a personal problem.
しかしケイチ君やレナちゃんなんか特にだけど大変なお話だったね。
In any case, the story really was a lot of trouble, especially for Ki-chan and Rina-chan.
大変も何も大大バッドエンドでございますわ。
Trouble? That was the mother of all bad ends.
結局ケイチ君を襲ったのって正体は何なんだろう。
I wonder, what was the identity of the thing that attacked Ketchi-kun?
たたりに見せかけておいて実は人間の仕業ってのが僕の推理なんだけどね。
My theory is that it was the work of people made to look like a curse.
でもケイチは最後に謎の電話をかけてきていましたのです。
But Ketchi made that mysterious phone call at his demise.
うん。
Yeah,
私もあの電話は変だと思ったね。
I also thought that call was strange.
あの時点でケイちゃんは犯人は人間だと確信してたはずなのにさ。
At that point, Ki-chan should have been certain that the culprits were people.
おかしな電話でしたわよね。
It really was a strange phone call.
なんかお化けに追いかけられてるみたいな。
It almost sounded like he was being chased by a ghost or something.
あの電話だけだとやっぱり犯人って人間じゃなくてたたりなのかなって思っちゃうよね。
Just from that phone call, it really makes me think that it was worth the work of a curse after all.
せっかくですから意見を出してみようじゃありませんか。
Since we're all here, why don't we all share our theories? Now, if the in-game characters are gonna go over theories, I'm gonna say that any of the theories they throw out is gonna be wrong. Immediately don't trust any theories in-game characters say.
じゃあ
That's
園
my
崎さんから。
philosophy. Let's start with Sonozaki-san.
私は絶対に人間説。
I absolutely believe it was people.
ひなみ沢の怪しい昔語りかなんかになぞらえて誰かが起こしてる人為的事件だと思うね。
I think it was a man-made incident that was just imitating the strange folklore floating around Hinamizawa.
確かに
Certainly.
毎年お祭りの日になると起こる連続開始事件なんて怪しいもんね。
Every year on the day of the festival, for another link in the chain of mysterious deaths to happen certainly is suspicious.
その連続開始っていうのも何かの昔語りの再現なんだよきっと。
A surprisingly big amount of stuff Battler says is dismissed just because the game says it. Yeah. I see what you're saying. So that so-called theory of mysterious deaths, it has to be somebody trying to reenact the folklore. Definitely.
私はたたりだと思いましたよ。
I think it was a curse.
玄関で圭一さんが暴れたシーンとかラストの電話のシーンとかを見れば人間が犯人では説明がつきませんもの。
Looking at the scene where Kechi-san went berserk in the entryway, and the last scene with the phone call, these cannot be explained with a human culprit.
そういえばそうだよね。
When you say it that way,
とても人間の仕業とは思えないシーンだったし。
it really wasn't the type of scene that would make you think it was the work of an actual person.
僕はそれでも人間が犯人だと思うね。
God, I really hope Tomatake's like, yeah, that blonde woman I was with. I want to blame her. Please. He says, yeah, but even then, I still think it was a person who did it.
あの玄関やラストのシーンは追い詰められた圭一君の被害意識からの妄想じゃないかって思うんだ。
That last scene and the one with the entryway, I think that the stress must have driven him into paranoid delusions.
難しい言葉を使われてもわかりませんわ。
You aren't helping me to understand by using such complicated words.
つまり怖がりの圭一が見た幻だと言ってるのです。
See, that's my theory. In other words, Kechi was so scared that he was imagining things.
じゃああのシーンの正体は圭一さんの後ろにいた謎の気配は何なんですの？
Then, what was the meaning behind that scene? What exactly was the mysterious presence behind Kechi?
引っ掛けだよ引っ掛け。
A red herring? R-E-D-H-E-R-R-I-N-G.
みーちゃん、引っ掛けってどういう意味？
Mi-chan, what do you mean by a red herring?
富武のおじさまが言うようにさ、あのシーンは追い詰められたケイちゃんの被害妄想のシーンなんだよ。
Like old man Toмотake here said, that scene was the result of Ki-chan having a stress-induced delusion from being mentally cornered.
それを濃密に書くことでプレイヤーにたたりだと思わせようとする演出なんだよ。
The overly graphic depiction was a ploy to make the player think it was a curse.
だから引っ掛けってわけ。
That's why it was a red herring.
それを言われると、でも。
When you say it like that, but.
まあそういう可能性もあるってことだよ。
Well, just means that there's that possibility.
だとすると、犯人は複数で村ぐるみっていう劇中の大石さんの推理は正しいのかな？
In that case, the theory that Oishi-san proposed during the story, that it was a conspiracy by the villagers, was correct?
当の本人の大石さんはどう思いますか？
What does the man himself have to say about that?
私ですか？
Me?
な悩みますね。
It makes you think, eh? Ah, he can't even commit to a theory. He's just hemming and hawing. Huh?
僕はてっきり大石さんは人間説だと思ってましたけど。
I totally thought that Oishi-san would be behind the people explanation.
劇中の私は犯人は人間だと断じてますが、人間が犯人だとするといろいろ不可解なことが多いんですよ。
During the story, I said it was definitely the work of people. But if a person really was to blame, that leaves a lot of loose ends.
例えばどんな？
Like what?
大石刑事さんの推理を聞かせてください。
Let us hear what Detective Oishi-san's theory is.
まず人間が犯人だとすると、絶対に動機が必要なんです。
First of all, if a human is a culprit, then there has to be a motive.
こういうことをして誰が得をするのかってことなんです。
In other words, somebody has to gain something from it.
つまりおじさま、人間が犯人なら連続開始事件を起こすことによって誰かが得をしなくちゃいけないってこと？
So what you mean is, if this is the work of people, there would have to be something gained from causing the chain of mysterious deaths?
そういうことです。
Exactly.
ダム開発の関係者が死ぬうちは利害も感じられましたが、近年の犠牲者はそれとも無縁です。
I felt that somebody could have benefited from the deaths of people related to the dam development, but the recent victims weren't related to that at all.
第一、前原さんを殺して誰が得をするというんです？
First off, who benefits from killing Maibara-san?
なるほど。
I see.
そう言われると僕も弱いな。
If you say it like that, my case is kind of weak too.
だってお金とかも取られてはいないんですもの。
I mean, none of your money was stolen.
人間が犯人なわけありませんわ。
There's no way it was human culprits.
でもそうとばかりは限らないんじゃない？
But that's not everything there is to it, right?
さっきみーちゃんが言ったように何かの昔語りの再現そのものに意味があるんだとしたら。
Like Mi-chan just said, there might have been some sort of reason for them to reenact the folklore.
そういうこと。
Exactly.
これは営利殺人じゃないんだよ。
This wasn't a murder where you consider the typical motives.
きっとこれは村の血塗られた歴史を再現するための何らかの儀式的殺人じゃないかなって思うわけ。
It makes me think that this was most likely some sort of ritualistic murder to reenact the bloodstained history of the village.
では聞きますですが、それを再現すると誰か得をするのですか？
So I'll ask the question of the hour. Who gains from this reenactment?
得をするんじゃなくてもっと心理的なもの。
It's not a simple benefit, it's a more psychological reason.
僕は何かの復讐じゃないかと思うね。
I think that maybe this was an act of revenge.
土着的な何か。
Something native to the region.
今回のシナリオでは語られなかった因縁だよ。
Some connection not touched on this time around.
なるほど。
I see.
過去にひどい扱いを受けた暴家の人たちが先祖の恨みを晴らすためにってな感じですか？
A member of some repressed family looking to air out an old grudge of their ancestors. Something like that?
私はそれにも反対ですね。
I don't like that.
じゃあ何？大石さんはまさかたたり派なわけ？
Then what is it? Couldn't it be that you're leaning towards the curse explanation, Oishi-san?
そうですわそうですわ。
That's right, that's right.
刑事役の大石さんが言うんですもの。
The man playing the detective said so.
たたりに決まってますわ。
It's decided. It was a curse.
劇中で前原さんが言うように、親代様が竜宮さんや園崎さんに乗り移って悪さをしているって考えると。
If, as Maibara-san said during the story, it was the case that Oishiro-sama possessed Ryuki-san and Sonozaki-san and committed those acts,
一番つじつまが合うんです。
that would fit the evidence the most,
残念ながら。
as much as I hate to say it.
実はレナも大石さんと同じ意見なの。
Actually, I'm of the same opinion as Oishi-san.
あんなに優しかったレナやみーちゃんが突然おかしくなるなんて、そうじゃなきゃ説明つかないもの。
I can't come up with any other explanation for the normally kind Rina and Mi-chan to suddenly start acting strange like that. Alright, well, case closed.
そこはミオンの私が言うのも変だけど、 やっぱり私なんだと思う。
About that, it may sound strange coming from the person herself, but I think that I, Mion, did it. Oh shit.
ミーの話の意味が分かりにくいのですよ。
I don't get what Mia is saying.
説明が欲しいのです。
I'd like an explanation.
ああ、ごめん。
Oh, sorry.
つまりさ、
In other words,
これってすっごく残酷な話なんじゃないかって思うんだよ。
I think this may end up being a really cruel story.
何ミーちゃん。
Huh? Wait, Mi-chan,
それってひょっとして。
you don't mean...
突き詰めるとそうなるのかな。
Taking the human culprit theory to its logical conclusion, that's how it would seem.
僕もちょっと疑ってる。
I also have my suspicions.
つまり竜宮さんも園崎さんも実は本当にああいう性格で引っ越してきたばかりの前原さんを騙している悪魔なんだと。
In other words, Ryugu-san and Sonozaki-san both actually had those personalities to begin with, or were merely deceiving Maibara-san.
こういうわけですか。
Am I right?
そんなの嫌ですわ。
I don't like that at all. Wah.
これは全部タタリの仕業なんですのよ。
This is all the curse's fault.
レナさんもミオさんもみんな優しい、いい人がいいのですの。
Rina-san and Mion-san and everybody else are all kind, nice people.
レナもそうだな。
I think that too.
レナやミーちゃんって本当にいい人なんだって思う。
I think that Rina and Mion-chan are really good people at heart.
きっと劇中で出てきた厳しいシーンは何かに取りつかれてたんだって思うの。
I think that during the story, they must have been possessed by something.
レナもタタリ派か。
So Rina also thinks it was a curse.
じゃあタタリ派の皆さんにお聞きしますけどさ、
Then let me ask everybody who thinks it was a curse.
タタリが怒るからにはそれなりの理由があるんでしょ。
There has to be a reason for a curse, right?
無差別にたたるとは思えないな。
It doesn't make sense for a curse to just indiscriminately befall someone.
そこんとこ説明できるの？
Can somebody explain that?
タタリはタタリですもの。
A curse is a curse.
人間の考えでは想像もつきませんわ。
Human logic won't get us anywhere. I should mention Rina's name is pronounced Reina, not Rina. Man, that's tough. That's tough for Rina. Tough to hear. Yeah, you know, my philosophy on name pronunciations, is that I try sort of my best, but once a name kind of sticks, it's very hard for my brain to, in the flow of reading it. So, I always say, just reprogram your mind to, every time you hear me say, because the thing is, I'm going to say a lot of Japanese words and names and places, like, wrong, for sure. I try my best, obviously. Just reprogram to hear the correct thing. Or you can curse me every time I say it out loud. In your head, though. That's fine, too. The thing is, me saying Kechi's name wrong, Kechi, I know that one is really bad. I know I'm fucking that one up really bad. That one, this is gonna sound really lame. Towards early on, when we were reading Higurashi, I took like 10 minutes in the shower, and I was just trying to reprogram my own head to say the thing, and then, like, it didn't work. The next day, when we, like, read a Higurashi, I just went back. So, like, that one's sticking as well. And again, I apologize. I'm by no means perfect with dumb names. Come on now. I'm trying my best, though. A curse is a curse. Human logic won't get us anywhere.
さとこちゃん、
Satsuko-chan.
擬人化された神様という存在は結局は人間の生み出したものなんだよ。
A personified deity is, in the end, nothing more than the creation of people.
だからその考え方も人間に理解できるようにできてる。
That's why their method of thinking is also understandable to humans.
ギリシャ神話の神様を見てごらんよ。
Just take a look at the Greek pantheon.
泣いたり怒ったり嫉妬したり、とにかく人間的なんだよ。
They cry, get angry, get jealous. Basically, they're just like humans.
つまりお社様もまた人間同様に何らかの利害に基づいてたたりをしているということですか？
So what you're saying is that Oyashiro-sama is cursing people with some benefit in mind?
変な言い方になっちゃったけど、つまりはそういうこと。
That's not a way of putting it, but basically, yes.
触らぬ神にたたりなしって言いますからね。
That's why they say, far from Jupiter, far from his thunder.
一理あります。
You do have a point.
つまりお社様にせよ人間にせよ何か理由があるはずということなのです。
Basically, it doesn't matter if it's Oyashiro-sama or humans. There has to be a reason.
でもリカ、
But Rika,
その理由がはっきりしないならどうなりますの？
what if that reason isn't clear?
つまりはわかんないということなのです。
I don't know.
そうだね。
That's right.
まだプロローグだもんね。
This is still just the prologue.
明かされていないことがたくさんあるだろうし。
There's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been revealed yet.
そうだね。
Yeah,
現時点ではこれ以上の推理は難しいね。
it's hard to come up with any more theories at this point.
いんにゃ
No!
白黒つけないと納得できないな。
I won't be satisfied until this is all made clear. Oh shit, Mion's just like those people when I was reading Umineko that were like, hey, when I read Umineko for the first time, I solved everything by halfway through episode 2. You're a fucking idiot for not solving things quicker enough. That's Mion. Mion's the embodiment of those people. They're real. That's it. I have to turn off the stream. No more streams of Higurashi until I figure out get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna put everything on pause. I'm entering my solitude chamber. And I'm figuring out who Oyashiro-sama is. You don't think you've ever seen someone solve Umineko? Go find the person in my YouTube comments during the Umineko playthrough. They would like to beg to differ. Mion-san seems rather particular about this.
限られた状況で最大限に推理する。
We'll just make the best with what we know.
ちょっぴり部活感覚で面白いでしょ？
Doesn't this feel interesting? Like the club a little bit? Yeah.
そう考えれば面白いかも。
If you put it that way, it does seem interesting.
じゃあ整理してみましょうか。
Well then, let's summarize.
私はたたり派です。
Let's see. I think it was a curse.
富武さんは人間派でしたよね。
Tomitake-kun thinks it was the people, right?
ええ、
Yeah.
僕は人間が犯人ってことでいきます。
I'll go with it being people.
私も人間犯人説。
I also agree with the people explanation.
もちろんたたりというファンタジーは嫌いじゃないよ。
That's not to say I hate such fantastic things like curses.
だけど今回の事件に限ってはたたりの線は薄いね。
But in this particular case, the connection to a curse is a little weak.
人間派が2人出ましたね。
Apparently, I think he said something along the lines of well, I know he was saying he did bring up the fact that, if it's people, there's got to be a motive kind of thing. And he kind of was just I think he had said yeah, I guess it was a curse. Makes me really suspicious of him. 2 for the people explanation then.
リュウグさんはたたり派でしたよね。
Ryu-san was on the curse side of things, right?
はい。
Yep.
レナとサトコちゃんはたたり派です。
Satsuko-chan and I believe it was a curse.
ね
Right?
え。ええ、
Yeah.
たたり派ですわよ。
I think it was a curse.
レナさんやミオンさんのことを悪魔みたいに言う人の方がよっぽどタタリに会うべきですの。
People who say that Rina-san and Mion-san were evil to begin with are more baffling of a curse, or more are. Try that again. People who say that Rina-san and Mion-san were evil to begin with are more befitting of a curse.
そりゃあまあ私も自分のキャラがそんな悪魔みたいなやつだとは思いたくないけどさ。
Well, I don't want to believe that my own personality was that twisted.
部活モードの時にはクールでなきゃ。
But I have to keep a cool head when I'm in club mode.
感情論だけで選ぶと大やけどするよ。
If I base my choice on just emotion, I'll regret it, you know?
まあまあ
Well, now,
どっちを選んだっていいじゃないですか。
doesn't really matter which side you pick, does it?
あれリカちゃんがまだだね。
Huh? Rika-chan hasn't said anything yet.
どっちだと思う？
What do you think?
僕はお社様が悪い神様だとは思わないですよ。
I don't think that Oyashiro-sama is a bad god. That wasn't the question, Rika.
あれ面白い意見だね。
Huh? That's an interesting opinion.
たたってばかりの悪い神様なら祀るのは嫌なのです。
I don't want to worship some bad god that just curses people.
僕はたたるよりご利益のある神様の方が好きなのですよ。
I like a generous god more than one that curses.
そっか、リカちゃんって巫女さんをやってるんだよね。
That's right. Rika-chan is a shrine maiden.
いい意見。
Yup. Good opinion.
じゃあ何？
Then what?
リカちゃんはお社様じゃないって思うならやっぱ犯人は人間って思うわけ？
If Rika-chan doesn't believe that it was that it was Oyashiro-sama, then do you think the perpetrators were human after all?
そういうことにしますのです。
We'll just go with that. Rika's acting suspicious. Does she know more than she lets on? Very suspicious.
ありゃまあ
I don't trust that smile. Well now.
票がざっくり分かれましたね。
That means the votes are split right down the middle.
たたり派と人間派で半々ですか。
So half of us think it was a curse. Half of us think it was people. Rina-chan, just for reference, what did the test players who played the beta version think? Oh yeah, let me get the beta. It's like, let me get the beta impressions. Please. Yeah. There were a lot more players who believed in the people explanation. Yep. Okay, see? Right there. Our veteran comrades are cool, collected, and very observant. But the beta version only finished partway through the story. That's right. Even the people who played the beta might change their minds if they got through to the very end. Man, it's really weird not to have this part voiced. It, like, just for my own, like, head. There's, like, a pacing thing when it's voiced that helps me. What should we do then?
これじゃ意見は半々。
This means that the opinions are still split.
決着がつかなくて面白くないよね。
It's no fun if we don't settle this.
裁判官が奇数なのはつまりそういうことだからね。
We need there to be an odd number of judges. In other words,
あと一人意見が欲しいな。
we need one more opinion. Are they gonna ask me for my opinion?
ならちょうどいいかな。
Ah, perfect timing then.
ケイチ君本人に聞いてみない？
Not me. Why don't we ask Ketchikun himself?
電話で
Let's call him.
たたり殺された本人の意見は貴重ですよ。
The opinion of the victim himself is very valuable.
そうと決まれば早速電話ですわ。
Since that's decided, it's time for the phone. Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
もしもしケイチ君、
Hello, Ketchikun.
レナです。
It's Rina.
今お仕事お忙しいですか？
Are you busy with work right now?
ああ忙しいぞ。
Yeah, really busy.
シナリオが1本終わって一休みって思ってたらすぐに次のシナリオだもんな。
Just when I thought I'd get a break because the chapter's over, it's already time for the next one. Damn, he can't catch a break. How's Ki-chan?
忙しいって？
K-chan. Busy?
うん、
Yeah,
拗ねてる。
he's moping.
聞こえてるぞこら。
Yeah, I can hear you, you know.
お前ら打ち上げ会でいいよな。
Must be nice having a wrap-up party.
こ 俺も出たかった。
I wanted to go too.
収録の残りゼリフ数で僕たちの誰か一人でも抜いたらケイイチも参加できるのですよ。
You can come if you get some character art for yourself.
リカ、あの量でそれは不可能ですわ。
Rika, that's a secret.
あ、それでごめんねケイイチくん。
Sorry about that, Keshi-kun.
今回のシナリオでね、
Anyways, during the current chapter,
ケイイチくん、
Keshi-kun,
その死んじゃったじゃない。
didn't you die?
犯人は誰だろうねってそういう話をしてるの。
We were just talking about who the culprit might be.
つまりさ、ケイちゃんを殺したのは人間かお社様のたたりかってことで意見が分かれちゃってるのよ。
Basically, we're deadlocked on whether it was people or Shiro-sama's curse that killed you.
本当にごめんね。
I'm really sorry.
台本読みで忙しいところ。
Even though you're busy reviewing the script.
ケイイチくんはどっちだと思うかな。
Kechi-kun, which do you think it was?
そんなの決まってんじゃねえか。
That's obvious, isn't it?
どっち？
Which?
どっちなんてもんじゃねえよ。
Isn't it both of them?
村の怪しげな奴らに狙われて、さらにお社様とかいう怪しいのにたたられて。
Targeted by suspicious people from the village and then cursed by some strange Oyashiro-sama on top of that.
人間もたたりも全部。
It's both humans and a curse.
これ
I'll
を
just
何
cover all your
かに
bases.
したなんてか。
Everybody's just picking on me.
かわいそうかわいそうです。
So very, very pitiful.
今度頭をなでなでしてあげますですよ。
Next time, I'll give you a good patting on the head. Bam, 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 bam.
結局意見が分かれちゃったね。
In the end, the opinions still split, huh?
私ももう一度考え直してみます。
I'll think this over again.
見落としがあるかもしれませんので。
We might have missed something.
それでは引き続き日暮らしの泣く頃に水をお楽しみくださいね。
Well then, please look forward to the next release. Higurashi when they cry. Watanagashi. Watanagashi. Wata? Wata. Wata. Watanagashi. That would be very funny if I revealed that I hadn't bought the second chapter of this. If I was just like, next paycheck. Next paycheck. How much do I trust each of the girls again? So you're saying, do you want me to reiterate what I said before? Or are you saying now that the chapter's like over, you want me to... The thing is, blindly, I want to trust Mion with my fucking life. I love Mion as a character. Rina, if I'm going with my theory that it's all in his head, I feel like I have to trust Rina. See, there's two things, right? If I'm like, okay, the thing is, if I'm going with the theory that it's all in Kechi's mind, then it's hard for me to say I distrust any of them, right? Like I said, Rina, if I'm with that theory, then Rina has good intentions and is pushy maybe, but she sees that her friend's spiraling and is trying to help him at certain points, and he's overblowing it in his own mind, right? But I mean, if I'm not going with that theory, and it's just like, I'm just on a scale of trusting of the different girls, right? Rika, I don't trust, like, at all. Even though she's adorable, she seems really sketchy. Satoko, I trust. I still am very high on trust. For some reason, it makes too much sense to me in my head for the mischievous one from the start to be like, to be very, to be on the up and up. So most faith in Satoko. Mion, a step below that, just because I like Mion, and then Rina, like a half step below that. That's where I would go right now. You mentioned that, I go back to the scene on the final day where Mion is scolding Kenshi for neglecting them. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think best of intentions. I think he just starts losing it. Like I said, to me, the poisoning of the mind theory that I'm building makes too much sense in my head. He sees the thing at the dump, the construction site dump or the tabloid or something. That's where it starts. He's like, this is really weird. And then he asks his two friends about it, and they really early on are like, let's not talk about that. Probably for good reason. Hey, we're just pals, and you're asking about this weird thing that's like almost like baggage for our village, basically, kind of thing. Like, there's like this thing that like outsiders, they always talk about how this is weird about our place, and it's just a coincidence, and all these things happen, and then people look down at us weird, and whatever, right? So they cut that off, and they're like, hey, don't do that. But in Ketchy's fucked up mind starting to spiral at this point. He's like, wait, that's so weird. Why don't they want to talk about it? Why is this, why is this such a taboo topic, right? And so then he goes to Tomotake, and Tomotake's and his blonde-haired lady of the night is like way too into talking to him about this because they have no skin in the game for whatever reason, because they're also outsiders, right? Or at least Tomotake is mostly considered like an outsider, at least in my interpretation, right? He comes and visits, but he's like an outsider. So he doesn't feel bad about talking about the hot gossip about this place, right? So then he starts doing it, and then Ketchy's mind starts spiraling even more. And then, like I said, the big bad, Oishi, he's like, hey, I'm a big shot investigator, man, and this is my white whale investigation, and I want to solve this. Here, let me do the amoral thing and start trying to get into this friend group through Ketchy. And I'm going to tell him all this shit, and that just really sets him off. I'm pretty sure Blondie lived and worked in Hanazawa. Oh yeah, she was a nurse there. Well, I mean, still, fuck it. I don't care. She's just evil, maybe. Maybe she's the one I trust the least. Plus, she was still with Tomotake, who I still consider kind of like an outsider. So they're like a shared outsider presence. So that's where my head is at with all this. So yeah, like I said I was gonna do, we'll continue here live. We will, yeah, thanks for the questions, of course, as always. The good questions. Bad questions need not apply. So as I said, I will end not the stream. If you're watching live, I'm not ending. I'm ending the VOD here. I think I'll be able to edit this or get it together so that what's going to end up happening is it's going to be like a break in the VOD on YouTube later in that same day when this goes live. Then the next part should go. But just for organization's sake, I'm going to end the actual VOD, and then we'll get chapter 2 here. So let's see. What do I need to do for that?